Tiddles the cat and the garden shed. Tiddles the cat was just stretching out her claws and thinking it was some time since she went hunting. To be clear, Tiddles did not want to eat a mouse or a bird. She did not even particularly want to catch one. No, what she enjoyed was the thrill of the chase. She liked to exercise her skills of tracking, of hiding, of pouncing on a creature totally unawares. The day was bright but a little cool, with only the lightest breeze. Ideal hunting weather. After a light snack of kitty munchies, cheese to please a fussy pussy — honestly, how did humans come up with this nonsense? — she slipped out through the open window and into the front garden. Tiddles stalked from bush to plant to hedge, always staying low, always unseen. She was a shadow, the passing of a cloud. She was a tiger after her prey. It was at this point 2 rather loud, undisciplined children passed by, and one called out, "Oh, look at that stripy cat! It must think it's a tiger hiding in the jungle!" And then they laughed. Tiddles simply turned and stalked off up the road, determined not to look like she was, well, stalking anything. Once around the corner, her acute hearing picked up a faint squeaking noise. Aha, she thought, a mouse ready for the chasing. Tiddles crept down the side of the corner house, through a gap in the fence by an apple tree, and into a crowded flower border. The sound was clearer now, with an irregular quality to it. Slowly, carefully, her radar-like senses homed in on the noise. It seemed to be coming from the shed at the end of the garden. Tiddles moved so slowly and cautiously, not a leaf stirred as she passed. Into the shed she crept. Squeak, squeak, went the noise. Surely a large mouse indeed. But it seemed that the sound was coming from above her now. Looking up, Tiddles perceived the double insult. An empty bird feeder was hanging from a hook and squeaking like a mouse as it swung in the little breeze there was. Even as she realized her mistake, Tiddles heard children running into the garden. The same children who had only minutes ago mocked her. Tiddles decided on discretion, and seeing a pile of relatively clean sacks at the back of the shed, she curled up for a brief nap. Some little while later, Tiddles awoke to see twilight had fallen. She rose and stretched, and began to conjure visions of what she would have to eat this evening. Then she saw the door. It was shut. At once Tiddles let out a loud meow of distress. But no one came. She saw herself fading to nothing, abandoned and alone. She thought of her beautiful home, her loving family, her comfortable bed. She would starve. She would freeze. There was not even a bony old mouse to stave off her hunger pangs, which, to be fair, had not yet beset her, but she was sure they would at some point. She slumped heavily against the door, which promptly opened, having only been pushed shut by the strengthening breeze. At once Tiddles bounded out of the shed, and directly home as fast as her paws could carry her. That night, the family were altogether puzzled, when their normally somewhat aloof cat spent the whole evening purring and nuzzling and rubbing each of them in turn. And Tiddles decided that indeed there is no place like home.